Hey gang, welcome to the Maresa Ng official channel where we help businesses to grow. So, running and managing a team is not easy. Sometimes I feel like a pom-pom girl, cheerleading my team and motivating them, keeping their morale high and helping them to stay focused on actually doing the stuff in the business, and sometimes it's so tiring and we run out of ideas. And so are you tired of motivating your employees, and do you need some ideas? Now that is what today's video is going to be all about. So if you're like many business owners I know, sometimes it's really difficult and we run out of ideas. And what do we do to be able to motivate our employees? And sometimes, and more often than not, we want to be able to use some of the non-monetary ways instead of just monetary forms of motivation all the time, like bonuses, commissions. And we don't want to be able to train our employees to always be expecting that kind of stuff. So over the period of time, I've done so much of work with my clients. Some things have worked and some things hadn't worked. And that's why I'm creating this video, because I want to be able to crowdsource some fantastic ideas. When I reach out to a lot of entrepreneurs and say, hey, what do you do to motivate your employees? And they give me a ton of fantastic stuff. But today, I want to be able to I want to share with you a list of all the things that has worked for many of my clients, and I hope that it works for you too. Now, let's not have it stop there. I would like that all of us as entrepreneurs, if you're watching this and you've done stuff that have worked, please share it in the comments below. We'd love to be able to hear from you. So without further ado, let me share with you what are some of the things that I've done that had worked. Number one, have a career path. And this is really dead simple, but having a career path is being able to tell your employee, now if you stick around for the next 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, this is where the organization is going to be. You have to be able to draw the picture, be able to visualize it, and one of the best ways to visualize it is draw the organizational chart that your business is going to look like in the next 5 years. Now, a lot of business owners do not do that. And why is that very powerful? It is an opportunity for you to make it look real, and your employees can say, wow. And in that org chart, you're going to have positions that do not even exist yet. When you draw that org chart, they're going to be like 50 people on it, right? And they compare to the current 20 and you're going, And these are the positions based on the growth of your business. This is where we're going. That's why we have to work hard today. Now that's very motivating for employees that really want to see themselves grow. They really want to do their part. They're going to be motivated by this part. Number two, and this worked really well for one of my pharmacy companies, and they ran a network, a chain of outlets. And what they built was a leaderboard. Now that was fun types of competition. They had a leaderboard that put every one of their sales assistants on the floor. They put them all onto one board so they could compare on a daily basis who was leading in terms of sales. And every month they would have funky names. They had funky names like Super Sales Assistant Award, Super Team Player Award, Awesome Abundant Person Award. You had all these very cool names, and gone are the days where you're gonna put, and you go to some fast food chains and you see, top employee of the month, It doesn't attract, it doesn't make your employees excited. So have funky, cool names that belong to you. Use names that nobody else uses, and you know what? Make it special. Make it special. When they achieve this sort of achievement, the regular type of thing, give a certificate, But you know what? One of the things that we do at Action Coach, when a certain coach displays a certain value, abundance award or excellence or team player, you know what we get? We get a nice little Action Man toy. It's an action figure. Like Ninja Turtles, we get an action figure. We literally get an action figure. If you come to my office, I'll show you all those action figures, those Action Man awards that I've been able to get. And sometimes you think, oh my gosh, it's a toy, but wait, it's the meaning behind the toy. So do things like that are really amazing, really creative, because it gets your team members and your employees outside of that stereotype zone, and you create a very unique environment to work in. Number three, acknowledgement and appreciation. You will be surprised. praising your team members and praising your employees is amazing. But you see, you don't have to do that on your own. Just imagine you're the boss and you're coming in and, hey, good for you. Hey, kudos, you did that. Awesome. Oh, you're good. You're this, you're that. Like, oh my gosh, phew. It's so tiring if you're like sending praises everywhere. But this is the thing, one of the things that you could do, and we do this in our team meetings as well, on a weekly basis, we celebrate wins. We celebrate wins for ourselves. We say, oh, I like to celebrate a win for myself, but remember to celebrate wins for other people also, But when you celebrate wins, you can celebrate a win for somebody else for something that he or she did. And this is the beauty. We're not celebrating big wins like, oh my gosh, she achieved $100,000 sales target and she's been able to do that 5 months in a row. It's not that. When you celebrate wins, you're also celebrating the small stuff, little stuff that make big impact later, but you wanna say, hey, I noticed you did that and I think that was very good job done. You took a look at some of our SOPs, you made something more efficient, or you handled that slightly difficult customer. That customer was getting a bit nasty, but I saw you calm as a fiddle. You were managing it and say, hey, I didn't know you noticed that I was handling that customer. It was very difficult for me. I said, no, but I think you did a really good job there. Celebrate wins. And the celebration of wins is not just from the employer, the bosses, to your employees, but even among employees, they get to celebrate wins as well, because sometimes you miss out some really, really good stuff and your employees, your team members can spot them and they are celebrating wins for each other. That kind of acknowledgement, that appreciation, that small pat on the back every week gets people on a high to be able to start work. Number 4, lunch with the boss. That's one nice way to motivate. I'm a bit 50-50 about this. It depends on what kind of boss you are. Some people are so excited. Oh my gosh, I get to eat lunch with my boss. Yay! And some people are like, oh my gosh, lunch with the boss is dreaded. So it depends what kind of boss you are. Are you the adored boss, where, if someone sits down with you, they get to learn a lot of stuff, you're a nice person, you're a beacon of advice? Or are you someone really scary, and then you're feared, and then they have to have lunch with you, stuck there for an hour with you? Depends on what kind of boss you are. So this is really where I'm 50-50 about this. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it hadn't, but more often than not, it was actually a nice thing to be able to sit down and have lunch with your employees, yeah? Number 5. Give special projects to specific employees. Now, when I say special projects, you could be looking at a new thing next year. You could be looking at some new designs. You could be looking at some new target audience, and you need some research done. You do want to tap into some of your fantastic talent. They probably know, and you say, hey, I'm looking at some new designs that will attract the youth, the younger people. Right now we're attracting the 30s and 40s, but we want to be able to create designs that will attract the younger guys, around 20, 25, under 30, Could you do some research for me? Because this project is very, very important for our next stage of growth. And you see, when you give special projects like that, one of the things that it does is it breaks the pattern. I'm not in my everyday, do my stuff, it breaks the pattern. I, as the employee, I get to think differently as well. But more importantly is that they feel privileged. They have the pleasure of doing something that sets the foundation for future growth, and it's a privilege, But you gotta be able to coin it properly. You gotta be able to package it well. Make sure that it's not something that you lead an employee off and then it's a dead end and then you don't follow up. That's even worse. That demotivates them. They do all this work and they're so proud and they can't wait to come to you, and then you're going, leave it on my table. And then employees just going, my gosh, I took many hours outside of my time, my usual work, to do this, and you said, leave it on your table. So look, how you do it is also very important. Package it well, follow up with the employee, and make sure that it comes to fruition, so that becomes a motivation factor for your employees. Number 6, and this is a nice, simple one. change the pattern, do weekly fun days. I know some businesses that we've coached and they do weekly charades on Wednesdays. We at Action Coach, we run the gym days, we go exercise on a Monday morning at 8 o'clock, and we sweat together and we do stuff like that. You see, when you create those kinds of differences, it's nice that the boss is a part of it. Don't cop out, don't cop out. It's nice as a boss, as an employer, you get to see this other side of your employees, but you know what? It's really nice that your employees can see that other side of you as well. Where you're sweating and you're getting all your grime out and you're pushing yourself, you're driving, versus behind a desk all the time. It's nice to be able to create that change in pattern, and that's very motivating because it's not just about working all the time, but seeing a different side of each other. So gang, that's my best 6, and that has worked very much. Non-monetary, okay? Why? Because a lot of business owners are used to the monetary stuff, bonuses, commissions, so I'm assuming that that's all in place. But you've got that other part of non-monetary motivation that a lot of employees look forward to as well, that you can easily do to make people feel great when they work in your place. Remember guys, I really love to hear your comments. Really share with me down here. Open up the text box and share with the rest of us, entrepreneurs and business owners out there, what have you done that motivates your employees? You know what? Share even the things that you did and it went splat, did not work. Share that as well so that we don't do it. That's really helpful because we're constantly thinking of things that we can do. So I really would like it if you can share, did this, don't do it. That would be lovely. Remember guys, like this video if you like it, share it if you know people who are scratching their head and figuring out, subscribe to this channel because this channel offers plenty of insights, plenty of assistance for business owners like us out here. But remember this, have a great business and a great life because being in business is about more life. Take care and I'll see you next week.